Happy Sunday morning, you D-Gens. Let's break down some football today. We got an exciting day today. I got my man, Detroit Beastie. So grab your cup of coffee, grab your donut, and sit back and listen to us talk about this championship Sunday. Beastie, what's going on, man? Hey, if you had to grab a donut, what kind of donut are you grabbing out of the box?
I love a good jelly donut for sure. And I've noticed that not a lot of people know about that apple spice one. It's like a jelly donut, cinnamon sugar powder, and there's like apple pie in the middle of it. That has always been a favorite of mine since I was a kid. However, last night on social media, I saw some people were freaking out. New Boston cream pie filled Pop Tart. Maybe at the end of this broadcast, I'll get a Boston cream pie filled Pop Tart. That would be great.
Yeah, I did see on Twitter everybody was talking about what their favorite Pop-Tart was. I mean, come on. It's got to be strawberry. So for me, I mean, I'm definitely a strawberry guy. That is for sure. But Beastie, man, we got a big day of football here today, man. I'm excited. This is one of my favorite days of the year as far as football goes. But before we do that, I want to give a shout out to our sponsor at Better Rate Mortgage. Family is more than blood. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family, actually better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit mybetterrate.com or call 248-480-4467. So make sure you guys are giving them a check out if you're going to need a mortgage or you're moving or everything else. Like Aaron Rodgers, he's going to be moving here soon. So maybe we'll get him his number. But Beastie, of course, yesterday we had that big game, Michigan State. Man, Michigan held in there that first half, and as we kind of expected, the Sparties pulled away there in the second half and ended up laying one on Michigan, double-digit win. But did you catch any of that, Beastie? And what'd you think about that interstate rivalry basketball game?
Well, like as I was telling you yesterday, I'm not that big into college basketball. You know, March Madness is another beast there. But I did catch like the first 5 to 10 minutes of the game. I had to walk away because I had a Special Olympics basketball tournament. And while we had 2-3 games there, and then it went final at the end of our basketball game here, and it was pretty bad. But as we said, it was kind of to be expected, right? Michigan State always is tough when they play college basketball. They're always, as long as Izzo is their head coach, they're always going to be in games. They're always going to be contending in the tournament here. In Michigan, I don't know what you want to call that, like pains or just lack of talent because guys have moved on. But again, if we know anything about college sports, you just got to ride the wave. You know, talent is overflowing at some point, and then they go, and then you're kind of stuck with what you have. But I'm pretty, I'm pretty happy in that Juwan is going to do the right thing here, and we'll be fine. But yesterday, was it embarrassing? Sure. That was a football game. Sure. Hockey game. Sure. But basketball, I mean, anything really goes here. So we called it. We saw it, right? I took Michigan, laying the points to Michigan, and rightfully so.
Yeah, I mean, I think what happened there, I mean, we saw Dickinson coming out. They just basically didn't double team him. They let him, they just kept throwing fresh bodies on him, wore him down. And Michigan could not shoot from the three-point range. But, man, Max Christie, that kid's good, former Mr. Illinois, Mr. Basketball. I mean, he had a hell of a game there for the Sparties. But definitely like watching that. I know today, though, Beastie, man, I've already been. I mean, you put on Twitter you were going to hand build 150 lineups for today's game. How that been going for you so far?
Oh, it's been going great and true to form. Obviously, you can see my notebook. I got all the tabs and everything. I highlight guys here, and I bring this up because I want to show you something on the back side here, right? I got like a little cheat sheet because I knew we were going to be in studio and everything. I didn't want to be looking all around. I have it right here, my final scores for today. But as you can see, I started to build core fours for each team because, today I wanted to tell folks, in a tweet or live here on the broadcast here, when we're built today, especially 150 hand built, the names and positions don't really matter. It's like moving this things around puzzle piece. So to me, it's been awesome, since Monday. I started doing this, and here's the kicker, Scott. You're not going to like this one. I have about 140 of them already hand built, but I have yet to enter them into the contest. Obviously, I put a dummy lineup in 150, but I have to spend time here after this broadcast, editing and uploading all 150 lines. And I think that's going to take, more time than I think. So soon here, I'm going to have to go post up somewhere and start entering my lines.
Yeah, that's always fun trying to change them all out like that. I think FanDuel is a little easier to do that than DraftKings. But I got 100 lineups myself today in this one here, so I'm kind of looking forward to sitting back here at 3 o'clock, I believe that first game is, and sitting down and watching this. But BC, let's just dive right in here. So we got the Bengals and Chiefs, 3 o'clock. It's supposed to be like 45 degrees in Arrowhead, so a little bit warmer than normal. But man, just looking here, Bengals getting 7.5, over under 54.5. Beastie, call me nuts, man. I think I'm taking the Bengals here today. I'm not sure if I'm going to get them on the money line or not. I don't know if they're going to win here, but for one, man, I'm a little concerned. How much energy did that last game take out of the Chiefs? I mean, we see it time and time again in the NFL. When a team overexerts themselves, it just seems like it's tough to get back up this next week. And I think the Bengals are riding high. They're playing good. They're young. And I think the Chiefs here, given 7, I think that's just too much. I mean, they may win the game, but I just can't see them just blowing away the Bengals here. Bengals are just too good. They've been playing real good. That offense has been playing phenomenal. Obviously, we know Burrow's been playing well. But, man, I'm just concerned. How much did the Chiefs exert last week in that crazy game with Buffalo? So are they going to – I mean, this is a regular season game, Beastie. I'd be all over the Bengals, even saying they're going to win. I'm just giving the Chiefs a little bit of respect here just because it is in the playoffs. But, Beastie, what are you thinking here? You think the Bengals got a shot here to win, and do you like them getting to 7 or 7.5 in some spots?
Well, I mean, it's playoff football, champion. Like we say, any given Sunday, anything is possible. I'm not too far behind you, but when you look at the points, I would prefer to take Kansas City with 7 points, and I'll tell you why here. You were saying how much effort did Kansas City, expend and, going up and down late in the game, but the regular season, that win last week, thing, I would imagine the Chiefs and the coaching staff, well, let's just say the players, right? They didn't do much this week. They rested, relaxed, recouped, went over the game plans. I'm sure they went through some sort of walkthrough. Obviously, no big padded practice with hitting and things along those lines. So to me, I think Kansas City is going to be okay. They have been unbelievably unstoppable. Let's just call it what it is, because they've scored 4 points in each of the last 2 post games. Patrick Mahomes, 782 total yards this playoff run, 8 touchdowns, and this is all in just games here. So to me, it's going to be, who can outlast the other one here. And I know we're going to get into this from a DFS perspective, and I'm kind of stuttering and stammering because I'm just so excited to talk about individual players and their matchups and price tags and everything. But to me, I think Kansas City wins this one handedly. I don't know. It's your definition of what is a big win. Double digits, just the 7, however you want to put it here. But I think the Chiefs win probably by about 9 points. So as it stands right now at this moment in time, I'm completely cool taking the Chiefs minus the 7 points. And I know I don't want to sound contradictory, so I'm just going to warn folks right now, when we get into the DFS plays, I'm all over a Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver stacks, and I'll let you know that when we get there. So just a little, a precursor here. Take Kansas City minus the points, but in DFS, I'm all over the Cincinnati Bengals here.
Yeah, I mean, it's good. I mean, we can't always agree on everything here. I do think, though, that the Bengals are pesky enough to keep within 7. But, hey, it's going to be a hell of a game. Now, I've been looking at some of these props here, Beastie. I do like all the Joe Burrow passing props. Joe Burrow to throw 1.5 touchdowns is actually at like minus 200 in some spots. I think that is a really good option there. Tyler Boyd's only at 39-40 yards in some spots. I know he's been struggling, but I do like that. And then the one I really like is McPherson, over 6.5 points. I think you can find that on FanDuel or DK. I do like that. I expect him to kick 2 field goals, obviously, and then to kick to extra point there. So I do like McPherson. He's like an automatic 3 points. I mean, I don't think the Bengals are going to have any problem rolling him out there unless they get down early and get down quick. That may hinder that one for us. But yeah, just kind of looking around here. I mean, we saw what Gabe Davis did last week, obviously, to Kansas City's secondary. Now, I'm thinking here, obviously they're going to be focused on Chase after that 266 yards and 3 touchdowns that Chase had in the last time they played the Chiefs. But I saw a prop on Chase here over 30 yards for the longest pass play for him. I do like that. I think that's something that I'll be looking at as well. But Beastie, as far as any of these guys go, as far as, any kind of props for these wide receivers, Burrow, anybody along those lines, any of the Chiefs here, is there any of these props here that are standing out to you, or any guy here that you think, hey, we got to look at and maybe focus on some of their prop bets?
Yeah, absolutely. The last few weeks, right, we get together, we broadcast, we give our best bets, and then the day after we go over them. And more times than not, we're laying some good odds, or we're laying some big bets here. And I've been chatting with some folks on social media and telling them, these bets, and they're kind of cookie cutter stuff, but that's fine. The casual, I have to realize, Scott, not everybody is like us. We're digging in our phones all day and looking for over under a half a yard on some like third string tight end here. So I normally keep it pretty simple, pretty smooth. And I told folks, after Championship Sunday, I'm going to dig in a little deeper and give those away, as we can kind of learn, as other folks can kind of learn how to bet alternate point spreads or points per quarter. I know you're big into that, under at halftime or over in the first quarter here. But I'm going to keep it simple today, because I don't want to say I have no betting bets going on to me, because I'm so focused on DFS. But I'm looking down at my phone here, because everybody loves an anytime touchdown parlay, right? Those are easy, just 2 clicks and bam, anytime touchdown. You could score any which way you like. So right now, if anybody wants to write this down, I already booked it here. Joe Mixon, anytime touchdown. Clyde Edwards-Helaire, anytime touch. Jamar Chase and Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. 4-leg parlay. You can get that for plus 1675. So when you do the $10 would net you probably $167, something like that. So to me, it's all about ease and get in where you can, and just be as simple as possible, because these games are just going to get nuts, and they're going to be hard to kind of gauge here. But to me, nothing wrong with an anytime touchdown bet.
No, heck no. I always like some anytime touchdown bets. I also got some first-time touchdowns, too, today, Beastie, and I got Uzama to score the first touchdown, and then I got McKinnon on the Chiefs. McKinnon's a guy here that I was kind of digging into this week, just to see if I was afraid that Clyde Edwards-Helaire is going to take some time from him. But even last week, he out-snapped CEH 53-23, out-touched him 15-8, and then out-targeted him 7-2. He ran 38 pass routes to Hilaire's 12 against the Bills. So it looks like McKinnon's going to be the guy here. And then, we always know these Kansas City receivers, other than Hill and Kelce, always are kind of up in the air. Who's going to step up? Is it going to be Pringle, Robinson? Is it going to be Hardman? But I can say here that Pringle looks like he's been the clear number 2 receiver here. He's 7+ targets in 4 of his last 5 games, and he had his second highest snap rate in week against Buffalo. That was 76%. So kind of like Pringle is a sneaky guy too, to score a anytime touchdown as well. But yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to this game here. I think I got this game at about 35-30 for the Chiefs here. So as I mentioned, I do like the Bengals getting 7.5 in some spots. I actually think it may even go up to 8, 7.5 or 8 as it gets closer to game time here. But yeah, definitely looking forward to this one here, to see if these young Cincinnati Bengals can get here to the Super Bowl. But Beastie, just kind of looking at what DVP, as we mentioned, Cincinnati is 31st against the quarterback, 20th against running backs, 20th against wide receivers, 16th against the tight ends. So obviously, they've been struggling a little bit against with the pass here recently. We saw what Davis and Josh Allen were able to do last week here. So, as I mentioned, definitely like some of these Joe Burrow props here today. And then as far as the Chiefs go, I do like some Pringle props, and I also like McKinnon as well, especially to score an anytime touchdown here today. But BC, is there anything we want to add before we get on here to the next game? Is there anything you want to mention, maybe something we missed, or anything you want to add to this game here?
Sure, we always talk DVP, and it's a good move, right? I've long said this on these broadcasts, or even way back when, before I was writing or broadcasting like I am now. DVP has its place in what we're doing. In some weeks, like the last week of the season, you can throw that stuff out because we're looking at third, fourth stringer guys, whatever. But now back in the playoffs, DVP, we need to pay attention to that because you're going to get the best games from all these players here. And when I look at this Kansas City Cincinnati game, everybody is going to flock towards Patrick Mahomes. And once again, not everybody is like us entering 100+ lineup. So if you're just a casual DFS player, nothing wrong with that. 5, 10 lines maybe. And I would imagine a large percentage of those folks, it's going to be all about Kansas of those numbers I just previously, 42 points, back-to-back games, all the touchdowns and yardage thrown by Patrick Mahomes here. But do not look past the Cincinnati Bengals offense. Kansas City, Cincinnati 31st against opposing quarterbacks here. But look at Kansas City against opposing wide receivers. They're 28th overall DVP wise against opposing receivers. So that means Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, all very much in play. And I know there's a when you're building your lines. You run it through an optimizer, or if you're going to hand build here. I'm just saying it now. I have a portion of lineups where I'm stacking all four of those Cincinnati Bengals, and I'm not thinking twice. I would imagine that the crazier the better here. And most times, in a DFS line with 2 games, 4 teams, kind of get apprehensive, or they don't want to. All 3 wide receivers from the same team, they're going to be vulturing and going away from each other. No issue stacking Burrow, T. Higgins, Jamar Chase, Tyler Boyd. And again, you can move all those pieces around. As I was saying, it's just one big Rubik's Cube, one big puzzle today. You can take out and put in Uzma. You can take out Chase and put in Mixon. That's why I write all this stuff down, because I try and comb through every 4-man combo I can here. So to me, this game is going to be it's going to be fantastic, and we're right on par with, I think, Kansas City puts up 35 points, and at the end of the show here, I'll give my best bets and Cincinnati's final score here. But to me, I'm all over the Cincinnati Bengals offensive weapons here in this one.
Yeah, I do think this is the game that's going to have probably the most points scored. I just think the 49ers-Rams game probably will set up to will be a little bit slower game in my opinion. But BC, obviously we got this other game here, 6:30 start here. So a little bit 3 and 6:30 is a little bit different from like 4 and 7:30 that we normally see here. But man, there's no secret here. The Rams have had a hard time here with the 49ers. Lost 6 in a row. They lost twice this year, 31-10 at home, and then they lost 27-24 on the road. But man, I know the Rams. They got to be focused here. Obviously, the Matt Stafford is right there on the doorstep to the Super Bowl. Now, Beastie, I mean, back when we started the Woodward Bets show, one of the first shows we did, I was adamant about betting on the Rams to win the Super Bowl here. So I have them in a couple on both books actually to win the Super Bowl. It just seemed like, I mean, we as Lions fans, we knew damn well that Stafford would probably get there. I mean, it's just the way it works. It just seems to me that was the way the movie was written, and it's playing out so far at this point. But, man, one thing I will say for the 49ers, I mean, Garoppolo has not looked good. To me, last week, I don't think the 49ers, you can't say they went out and won that game. The weather had something to do with it, obviously, with that block punt. Pretty slow game there. I mean, Rodgers missed some passes there at the end of the game that he should have hit. All he had to do was get a couple first downs there. And we'd be talking about the Packers and Rams today. But, man, I just didn't think the 49ers were all that impressive. Deebo Samuel limped off the field there at the end of the game, so there's a little concern there. And then Mitchell was held out of practice, but he did come back as a limited basis. But, man, these 49ers are beat up here, Beastie. And I think the Rams here today are in a pretty good spot. We obviously know that Cooper Kupp and Akers is they're going to be the main focus point of the offense. Beckham Jr. has been coming on strong for the Rams as well. But, Beastie, what are you thinking here? You think Matt Stafford's got a chance to get the ex-girlfriend of the Lions here? What do you think? They got a chance to get to the Super Bowl or what?
Yeah, absolutely. And you said that weeks ago, right? And again, I just want to give you out, since day one being asked on this broadcast here, I try and follow your bets. Like, remember way back when, the AL NL Cy Young. I don't say much, but I write it down and I book that stuff. I booked that Stafford, to the Super Bowl bet a long time ago. Same thing with Cade Cunningham being Rookie of the Year. So I write it down, and I don't tell you thank you often enough, but I have all that stuff already booked here. But when we look at this game, San Francisco at the Rams here, you said Deebo Samuel limped off and Jimmy Garoppolo isn't playing. This all weaves like this nice picture here where they stay underdogs in a way, but they're gritty, they're scrappy. And all this past week here, Deebo Samuel's not on the injury report anymore. Jimmy Garoppolo not on the injury report anymore. And I love what Deebo Samuel, I believe it was after the divisional round, he says, I heard this was his tweet in quotations here, for kind of, I'm paraphrasing. I don't want to, quote Deebo. He said, I heard a lot of you are talking bad about my quarterback. Go check his winning percentage and then comma, all the way. And Jimmy G, to be fair, he's thrown a touchdown pass the entire length of this player. And something in this game to me, it's not that it doesn't sit right, but I know you as well, or anybody watching this now, when you play DFS or you do bets, it can all be numbers and statistics and things like that. But when it comes down to its final form, I gotta, there's this feeling here. I gotta trust and I gotta lean on. I want to not disrespect, but we need to respect Jimmy Garoppolo today. Something strange is going to happen because, again, Kansas City, Cincinnati, that game's going to go exactly how we think it's going to go. 30 plus points for each team. In this game, you said, I think it's going to be kind of a low scoring, grinded out. That's what everybody thinks. So to be fair, it could go completely haywire and opposite. And when Jimmy G gets on the field, we need to respect him, because I have this strange feeling that something massive is going to happen for him, not to him, but for him in terms on the field. Like, is this the game where he breaks out, multiple touchdowns, 2 in the air, 2 on the ground? I mean, something outlandish here while everybody's, looking left in Kansas City and Cincinnati and stacking Matthew Stafford. What's the percentage of folks that are just like fading San Francisco or saying, yeah, San Francisco, they're not even, we don't even need to worry about them from a fantasy point or a DFS point. I'm here to say now we need to respect Jimmy Garoppolo and George Samuel, even Eli Mitchell, who I have looking at my notes. I have Eli for like 18 to 20 carries in this one. So to me, it's going to be all about the running backs. And this is all the safe play. On paper, it's going to be 21 to 20, something along those lines. But I'm saying now, I believe that in a way, but I'm also saying something strange is going to happen here, because every game so far in the playoffs has kind of gone according to plan, aside from, Green Bay or San Francisco. But I'm going to look, an extended look here at the 49ers stack. And as I showed earlier in the broadcast, 4-man stacks and filling in the blanks there. I love the idea of Jimmy, Eli, Deebo, and Kittle in the same lineup, and then move those pieces around here. When we look at the Rams and Matthew Stafford, I mean, look at the bottom of the scroll here. Big D energy. I mean, Stafford will always be my quarterback one. He's just a good dude. He's in a good spot, finally playing in a championship game with the Lions, but hey, we take what we can get when we're a Lions fan with limited success here. Now, when the Rams at home, it's just a beautiful stadium. Realistically, they could play the NFC Championship game at home, and then again the Super Bowl at home here. I don't think that's ever done, championship game and Super Bowl back-to-back home games. But to me, everybody's going to be looking to stack Stafford with Cooper Kupp, rightfully so. Cooper Kupp is just unbelievably expensive. In the single game slate here, right, you look at Cooper Kupp, $12,200 on DraftKings, $16,000 on FanDuel. And if you want Cooper Kupp in your captain spot on DraftKings, $18,300. We're going to have to remortgage our homes if we want to use Cooper Kupp in the captain spot here. But I think this one is low and slow in a way, and the pace probably in late third quarter. I know it's like, just procrastinating or, predictions and stuff like this. But to me, this game is going to be fake. I'm all in on Matthew Stafford winning. From a real life perspective, from a fan perspective, I want to see Matthew move on and play in a Super Bowl here. But this game is going to be as good, if not better, than the Kansas City-Cincinnati game here, Scott.
Yeah, we'll see what Stafford can muster up. I mean, his last game, 238, 3 touchdowns, 2 picks. He was also sacked 5 times against these 49ers last time. But one thing I've been noticing, Beastie, is, man, Stafford's been running in touchdowns both playoff games. he had a rushing touchdown. I mean, the dude didn't have a rushing touchdown from 2016. So, maybe take a long shot looking at an anytime Stafford touchdown as well. That's been paying off pretty well. But for me, the big difference in this game is Cam Akers. I mean, Cam Akers did not play the first two times they played. I just think it brings another dynamic here to this Rams offense to where they can't focus on the Cooper Kupps and Odells. But we'll see if Cam Akers comes out running right out the gate here. I think that could be trouble for the 49ers. But I'm leaning here toward the Rams. I mean, maybe it's my heart taking over here. I do want to see Stafford get the Super Bowl. Obviously, I have some bets on him. But for me, I just think the Rams, and then whoever wins in the AFC over there, I think that would be a hell of a Super Bowl. I'm just not looking forward to anything with the 49ers. Now, looking at some DVP numbers here, Beastie, I mean, you look at the 49ers, 11th against quarterbacks, 11th against running backs, 22nd against wide receivers, 7th against tight ends. So obviously the 49ers got a pretty good defense there, but that wide receiver has been getting away from them a little bit. So we'll see if they can stop Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, and the boys. But one thing that I did stand out that we do know that Beer mentioned the other day on the bottom line with Ryan and Braylon and Maz that Beer's all over Juwan Jennings to possibly score a touchdown here for the 49ers, anytime touchdown, maybe even a first touchdown. So I was digging into that a little bit. I do like that. I mean, Juwan Jennings has scored 2 passing scores in the last meeting, 94 yards, 6 catches. So I do like some Juwan Jennings today, as well as a sneaky guy that you might be able to get some pretty good odds on. But I mean, we know the weather is not going to be a factor. Obviously, last week I think that benefited San Francisco and their slower pace against the Packers. But in that cold, extremely cold game that we had up there in Lambeau. But Beastie, I think this one here is going to be a game where, I mean, potentially the team with the ball last might end up winning. We've seen so many of these playoff games already end on a last play or a field goal or something along those lines. I don't think we're going to see too much different here, but I don't know, BC. I think this one actually at first for me was a little tougher to break down than the Cincinnati-Kansas City game. I mean, the 49ers are just so hard to predict what they're going to do, but I just don't expect them to come out passing. I think they're going to try to run different type formations, move some guys around, and I think they're going to rely on Mitchell and Debo here quite a bit today. But Beastie, what do you think here? Is there anything here we missed? Anything you like? Any kind of touchdowns? Any kind of props? Anything along those lines that you want to bring up?
No, realistic. I love it from DFS perspective. I love the idea of stacking both Cam Akers and Eli Mitchell in the same single game slate or in the overall both games here. I have Cam around 17, 18 carries, 70 yards, couple receptions, and then Eli Mitchell 18 to 20 carries as well. So if I can get both dudes in my lineup and we're looking at like 37 to 40 total between them, that just paints a picture of where I think this game is going to go. These projections, I didn't pull these projections out of thin air. It was kind of a mean thing that I found all over the internet here. So a lot of other folks are on the same wavelength here. We're just going to be, run. And I'm telling you now, Cooper Kupp, he's a sure thing. That goes without saying here. And yeah, I love, Juwan Jennings here. He's highlighted in my notes per usual. And if anytime touchdown bet, that seems easy peasy. I love the idea of putting, Tyler Higbee, Juwan Johnson as anytime touchdowns. And then if you want to put Cooper Kupp to just boost it, to make it more, accessible or relevant, have added here. But I'm all about those anytime touchdowns with just mass odds here in this one. It's going to be another outstanding game, and fingers crossed we have a successful show and a successful kind of betting day, and at the end of it we see Matthew Stafford in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Beastie, if Stafford gets to the Super Bowl, I know the morning show and Adam, they are going to have some fun with that one. I know Adam's all fired up obviously he likes poking fun at the Lions organization, blaming them for some wasted time that we had with our number 1 draft pick. But hey, good luck to the Rams and everybody else. But Beastie, man, we couldn't let you get out of here without any kind of hockey today. I mean, we got some hockey today starting at 1 o'clock. We got 2 games at 1. We got a 1 at 5. And then, as you know, we got 4 games at 7. So I know you like to play and split up these slates here. I'm going to assume they're going to probably have a 3-game slate with the 2, 1, and 5 o'clock games. And then they're going to have the 2, 3, 7 o'clock and then the 8 o'clock game. But Beastie, what do you got for some hockey? You got any lines or you got any suggestions here today? Maybe I'll get in some into the hockey ranks here today while I'm watching my football. But you got anything for us in some hockey for us today?
Absolutely. I'm just asking which notebook do you want? I got this one, and then I got my old trusty, my mini one with the tabs. This is my hockey and baseball DFS thing. So when you look at, as you said, there's an all-day slate, 7 games, locks at 1 o'clock. You get Seattle at the Rangers, the Kings at Pittsburgh, and then boom, that's it. And then when you look at the main slate, that's where I'll probably hone in. It's only 4 games, 7 games, or 4 games. You cut your odds, kind of basically in half. One, Boston at Dallas, Columbus at Montreal, Minnesota at the New York Islanders, and Buffalo, Colorado. I'm here to say now, I can already see it happening. Ownership percentages, everybody and their mother tonight is going to be on Colorado because they're at home against Buffalo here. But I know Nathan McKinnon, their stud center, he hurt his head. He's got a concussion, so he'll be out the next 3 games. And I believe tonight is day 2 of that 3-game concussion protocol that the NHL has. So yeah, Colorado in some good spots, but I like to dig a little bit deeper and look at those lines that can be impactful as we mix and match our studs here. And I want to go back. Let me breeze down at my notes here. I want to look back a little wild here. I'm sure you do the same thing too, Scott, from playing DFS, whether it's football, baseball. You get a good call right? I'm Minnesota. They score 8 goals. So now I'm into them in a way. I know it sounds weird to anybody watching here, but I keep going back to that because they made me look good on air. They made me some money, personally here. So I'm going to go back to the Minnesota Wild well here. Minnesota goes to New York to play the Islanders here, and I've been just stacking Minnesota every which way. Their first line, their second line, just pick one. And today, I love their first line. Ryan Hartman, first line center, second power play unit. Kaprizov, first line, first power play unit, and then Mats Zuccarello, first line, first power play unit. So all 3, you're getting the first line. You get 2 exposure on the first power play unit, and you get a little taste of Ryan Hartman in the second power play unit. And he centers the first line, he centers the second power play unit. So that's all well and dandy. I have Minnesota, that final score, if that helps. I have Minnesota putting up like 4 goals in comparison to the Islanders 3. So if there's a game that I want to stack here on the hockey slate, it's this one, Minnesota Islanders. And of course, I love the Islanders first line, Barzal, and we go on, so on and so forth. But New York Islanders sign Brock Nelson, Anthony Bevelet, Kyle Palmieri. I have an Anaheim Mighty Ducks, autographed Kyle Palmieri card, and I know he was still in the NHL. But give me stack Minnesota 1 with the New York 2 in the same line, because again, I think we're looking at 7 or 8 total goals in this one. And one little unfair thing as I'm looking down, it might be, I know it's tough to say, Carolina is under the radar or Boston is under the radar here, but I very much loved Columbus Blue Jackets tonight. And when you look at that, anybody that's playing Montreal is who you want to stack. I know a lot of folks, they're not into hockey or they don't play hockey DFS. It's the same thing as football when you pick on bad defenses. Montreal is a mess to see it. They just they're like a sieve. Their goalie, he cannot stop anything here. So give me the Columbus Blue Jackets first line, Boone Jenner, Patrick Lalane, and you'll remember this name, everybody else there, Gustav Nyquist is their flying winger, and he plays on the second power play unit. And on FanDuel, only $5,300. Give me Columbus Blue Jackets first line. You can mix and match Colorado 1, Colorado 2, but the big one for me is Minnesota at the Islanders, Minnesota 1, New York Islanders line 2, and that's what we got. It's only 4 games. You can write down any combination you want, get it in, get a little rest in between the football games as you're putting in your DFS lines, and that's what I'm looking at, Scott. So it's going to just be an outstanding sports game in general from start to finish. I mean, hey, it's Championship Sunday, for God's sake.
I mean, exactly. Championship Sunday, it doesn't get any better than that, as we were already talking. It's been always one of my favorite days. I mean, we know football's coming down to an end. I mean, we're going to end up having what? The Pro Bowl. And then obviously we got the Super Bowl here. But, I mean, this day here has always been one of my favorite days in the NFL. But, Beastie, want to just give another shout out here to our other sponsor here, and that would be Jars Cannabis Company here. Jars Cannabis, shopjarscannabis.com. They offer delivery and in-store shopping, Michigan's largest variety for any of the lifestyle needs. Jars Cannabis is a medical and recreational retailer located throughout Michigan, Lansing, Detroit, Flint, Grand Rapids, and more. And hey, if you mention Woodward Sports and Woodward Bets, you get 20% off at any Jars location. So hey, basically, you spend $100, we'll get you a free couple pre-rolls on us for being our loyal listeners. So make sure you guys give them a try. I actually went over there and had a pretty good time. They hooked me up with a couple pre-rolls, and I was quite impressed. Very good. Really happy with what they gave me. So I want to give a shout out to Jars. Appreciate them. But Beastie, I mean, it's getting here close to that time of the end of the show here where we like to give out some best bets here for the day. We got two huge football games. Obviously, you ran down some hockey for us. Maybe we'll throw up some NBA. It's just so tough at 9 a.m. to be able to get a gauge on the NBA. But Beastie, I'm going to let you go first. What do you got here for the people? Best bets for this?
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic, and I'll save my outro for the outro of the broadcast here. But I'll just pick one of these football games because I don't want to leave you bare bones or scraps when you go through. Now, San Francisco at the Rams. Right now, the Rams are minus 3.5 points, and all week I've been having a tough time getting a pulse on this game here because again, I think the final score is like 21-17, and when you add 3.5 to 17, 20.5 here. So to me, that half point is going to loom large. And I'm just going to go out on a limb and think Stafford and Kupp and the boys get that done here. So I'm going to take the Rams minus 3.5 points to move on to the Super Bowl in their home stadium. And when we look at hockey here, I said Minnesota at the Islanders. The over-under, I believe, is at 5 goals. I think they blow that out of the water. Final score 4-3. So you're looking at like 7 to 8 goals in that one. So give me the over in the Minnesota and New York Islanders game. And I love the under in the Columbus Blue Jackets at Montreal game. Now, to be fair, the over-under in this one is only at 5. So 2 plus 1 is, I think it's a safe bet here. So give me Stafford and the boys plus 3.5. Excuse me. Minnesota at the Islanders over the 6 goals. Columbus at Montreal under the 5.5 goals in that one, Scott.
Love it. Love it. So for me today, I got to roll with the Bengals here, getting the points. I just think Kansas City exerted so much energy in that huge game last week. I just think the Bengals are ready. And I think they got a little bit of confidence, that young team, especially beating Kansas City here recently. So I'm going to take the Bengals getting the points. I'm going to sit back and wait. Hopefully I can get it 7.5, maybe even 8, but 7.5 are the spots I'll be looking at. Now, as far as that game, a couple little bonus first-time touchdowns. I think I may roll with Uzama as far as the Cincinnati side, and I'm going to roll with McKinnon on the Chiefs side. But in that second game there, I'm rolling with the Rams. I think the Rams get it done, 3.5. I do like the under in that game. I like the under in the first half as well. I think this game is going to be pretty slow-paced. So I'm going to take the under in that one and the Rams. But again, first-time touchdowns, little bonus here on that one. I'm going to go with Jawan Jennings for the Beer Man here to score the first touchdown for the 49ers. And then for the Rams, I usually like to have one on each side. I'm going to go with Akers. I think Akers is in a pretty good spot to score a touchdown today. But, yeah, really looking forward to these games here. I think we're going to get some good football. It'll be tough to keep up with what we had last week. But, Beastie, before we get out of here, just want to give one more shout-out to the sponsor of the show, at Better Rate Mortgage. Family is more than blood. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family, actually better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit mybetterrate.com or call 248-480-4467 today. But, Beastie, anything you want to add or anything you want to say for the people before we get out of here?
Yeah, absolutely. We live our life so fast paced, right? We're always trying to fast forward things. I can't wait till next week when I'm going on vacation. Or I can't wait until tomorrow when I don't have to work. Today, live in the championship Sunday. I said this the other day on the broadcast. In a month or two from now, we're going to be hanging out at home, broadcasting or just bored out of our minds because we don't have football. So don't fast forward away your life or your time. Your stop, take it in, and really pay attention to these games and just enjoy it. Because again, after today, we got to wait 2 weeks for football, and then that's done and over with in the blink of an eye here. So stop, take it in, and enjoy the games here. I mean, what the heck? Playing in the NFC Championship game. If that's not going to draw in attention from the Detroit metro area, I don't know what will.
Yeah, I mean, exciting times today, but we definitely appreciate you guys all joining us today. So if you can, just take a minute, hit that like button for us, hit that subscribe button. We definitely appreciate that. Make sure you guys are checking out all the other great shows here we got at the Woodward Sports Network. I'll be tuning in tomorrow to the morning show just to get a reaction, especially if the Rams win. I want to see what the boys do over there. But that's going to do it for today. Good luck in your championship Sunday. Hopefully, we all get some money here to continue on with our get some lunch money. But for Kareem behind the glass, for Detroit PC, I am Scott. We are out of here. Good luck today, and thanks for listening.